Welcome to the Martial Arts Business Success Podcast. We're at episode 122. Phil, we've got another block series of 4 coming your way. So
Yes.
What's our topic points for this edition?
This particular podcast series of 4 next episodes are going to be all about retention, keeping your students longer. And in this specific episode, we're going to be talking about building a community and how important that is when it comes to retention of your students. Graham, do you want to elaborate on that?
Look, I know that speaking with plenty of business owners and guys that we work with, when you're a smaller school, your community is almost, it's one of those things that happens organically anyway.
Yep.
But as you grow larger and larger, you've got to make sure you actively put some effort into keeping that family feel, that gel, the cohesiveness. So it's one of those things that sometimes are overlooked. And I know there's some super schools that are out there have had some teething problems where they get so big that people feel disjointed, they don't feel part of something. So, building a community can be so many different ways. There's events that you can do that bring people together. If you've got multiple schools like we do, that was a challenge that we had to face of the 3 different schools that ever growing were almost growing separately, so how to bring them back together. And a way that we've been able to do that recently is through our online WAMA community.
Yeah.
So that was a starting point,
Yep.
but obviously it also has to distill down to obviously what you do and the values that you bring to it when you're actually in your dojo as well too.
Something I've experienced with a couple of my clients, and it was just a topic of discussion yesterday, is that someone may have multiple styles in their school, like a karate and a Muay Thai, and there's fractions within that business as well. So, some of those Muay Thai guys might not want to train with the karate guys or do those type of things, and vice versa. So how would you recommend, I know we've got the online community, which is a bigger community. How would you recommend you bring back, I know we've done this as well, like we've had a splinter off of our fight team.
Yep.
At the end of the day, we made some decisions to try and bring everything back together. So what would you suggest to do if there was a fragmentation or a splinter off within a school?
Look, I suppose if there's any sort of commonalities, for example, if you've got sparring or some combative aspects as part of these programs that were both very similar in both, let's bring that to the party and do a sparring training development day. That it's not style specific. So you can have your freestyle martial arts with your Muay Thai guys, and that's just an example for us in our sort of school and assistance rerun. But I think it's about understanding what are the things that both parties could both enjoy and do a day that you run that. It's education. Even more so too, if you don't have any similarities, so, Muay Thai versus Jiu-Jitsu, they may be polar opposites in what they do, but having maybe a social event or a way that you can bring people together so you're developing that friendship, that relationship, but it's not like me versus you. I know that sometimes that can be a little bit challenging when you've got 2 styles that are completely opposite, but at the end of the day, I suppose there's different disciplines people train in, but it's about the interaction together is really what we're talking about. Because at the end of the day, if they don't feel like they belong or they're ostracized, they're more likely to want to find somewhere else to go to. And that's why we're sort of talking about retention, keeping people feeling part of your family, your extended family. And to do that, you need to do things together.
I guess another thing is the adult and kids split as well, and trying to do events that bring the whole community together if you are a school that does have kids, parents, adults as well. So I think it's about trying to find those moments within your year that you can have community focused events. You'll still have your upgrade program event. You'll still have your adults only event. You still have all these things where you do splinter off a little bit and have those type of niche down events. But throughout the year, you want to think about how can we bring the whole community together, and maybe not even just the community of your martial arts school, but the wider community as well.
Yeah, for sure. Look, something that we've got coming up, so I'm sort of talking to you guys in the future here, is a big family picnic. So that's a way that we get people together. That's definitely a community thing, so extending to the families and all the rest of it. But again, you invite all your students, you may not get everyone to that, but it's certainly pushing for that. Being able to really understand what is it that you want to try and accomplish by bringing people together? Is it that social aspect? Is that interaction? Is it that learning? Is it blending systems? Try and understand that for some people, their needs are going to be met in different events that you run. So one event's not going to cover every base, but you've got to just think about making sure you're building things in place that are going to invite, the whole spectrum of students, I guess.
Yep. So when it comes to building that community, Graham, and we talk about sort of your internal community, external community, And then combining that, I guess, the way that we've done it is that online community where people can add their thoughts and feelings and I guess considerations about martial arts in general and throw their comments
Yeah,
through.
for sure. There's been a real sort of clear delineation between your online Facebook marketing and your Facebook sort of profile page or your business page, which is about lead generation and getting people to see who you are, understand a little bit. For us being a slightly larger, we were starting to get too mixed up. So what I mean by that is you've got people who want to be social and interactive and chat, but then you're trying to market, and it just kind of muddied the water. So we've separated the two so that our dialogue, the interaction, the conversation, the sharing of just material or motivational videos or even recipe shares are done in this online community. And that's a great way to really sort of get to know people a little bit more, see some of their personality types, see some of their enjoyments that they like as well too, and also a chance to, like I said, open that dialogue that doesn't always have to be, I won't say serious, it is serious stuff,
Yep.
but it's a little bit more lighthearted in jest. You can have some fun with it, which doesn't sort of crowd your marketing image that you want to portray.
Cool. So there you have it, guys. I think really the call out for you all out there who are listening and watching or wherever you are is to have a look at your event, your calendar, your sort of year in view, and ask yourself, are you bringing the community together? Because I do know that the bigger you get, sometimes the harder it is to bring the team together.
Yep.
When you have a smaller school and you're sort of maybe 100, 200, 300 members, your community is quite small, it's quite tight. And it is very first name basis.
Yeah,
The bigger
for sure.
you get, the harder it is. Like I can come into my martial arts businesses now and not really know anyone, and even in some cases, some people don't know me. So how can we bring that community together? Make sure that everyone is on first name basis. Everyone knows who you are. Everyone knows the journey and the story. Because at the end of the day, people will stay longer. We say to martial arts, those who kick together stick together. So it's about creating those environments where they're not just kicking together on the floor, but they're out there having fun in a social environment as well.
Yeah, look, there's another sort of interesting part that I really liked and was something we're adopting for our students as well too, is a bit of a history log. So for those who are newer to the group, newer to your community, they get a bit of a backstory as well too. So not only are you sharing the experience of that particular event, they can go and have a bit of a look-see at what happened earlier this year, what happened last year, the history behind sort of your organisation, your school, any major things you've done, fundraising, stuff like that, because sometimes that then gives them a little bit more rapport building. They feel a little bit more ownership by gathering this information. And if they have to find that in their own accords, hey, look, some people are motivated to do that, but if you can provide that in a really easy place for them to sort of search it, you're going to find that you really do sort of start ticking and kicking some major goals with that one as well.
Absolutely, guys. So thank you for listening in on this particular episode of Martial Arts Business Success. Make sure you go search us on Facebook. Go check out the TIMA Mastermind. Go like our business page. Go subscribe to iTunes. Go look at the stuff we have on YouTube. If you haven't been there, go check out our website, guys. There is tons and tons of free, real educational material out there that you can start getting some ideas, some tips, some tools, some strategies to help you increase your business results. So guys, go check it all out there, and we can't wait to hear and see you at some point, and maybe in our journey, maybe a live event coming up, or within our our ecosystem online or whatever. So yeah, this is I guess topic number 1 out of 4 topics of the student retention series. So make sure you stay tuned for topic number 2, guys.
Hey, don't forget, team, just one more thing. Get your staff to listen to this stuff and then have a conversation around it, because they may have some opinions and some ideas that you haven't thought of or considered, and it's absolute gems and gold. So get on board, have some fun with it.